And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. How are you guys doing? It is so good to be here with you all. I see there's some folks in the community waiting and saying, yes, we're here. We are here. And I'm going to just start off with a great good morning to our wonderful Hannah. Hannah is out of her basement. Hannah, I'm going to always tease you about your basement. And we also have in the building Jazzy. Miss Jazzy's in the building. Jazzy Jazz. Good morning, beautiful people, she says. And the Sunny Boys in the building. Adrian Florence. I had a great father and son moment with Mr. Adrian. I'm so happy we had some time together. It made my day. It made my week. It made my month. I would have to say it also made my year. Anytime I get to spend time with him, if it is the best. Hannah's in the building saying hello to Adrian. I see it all. Okay, so a lot is going on in the world today, and obviously you know that the tariffs. The stock exchange is making a little comeback because there's been some stepping back off the tariffs. Trump is realizing, or maybe his people around him are telling him, "Yo, dude, this is not going to work." And he keeps saying, if you looked at all the Sunday shows this morning on CBS, NBC, ABC, like I do, they were all spinning, and they were offering no facts, nothing truthful, and then they also had to go back on their tariffs and do a carve out for electronic devices. Most of the electronics we have in America come some way through China. The chips, memory, the devices, the glass, all of it. Most of the phones, most of TVs, most of electronics in America come through China in some way. And if you know what's going on in the global economy, is that not only does China make a lot of these devices, but China, because of who they are and what they've done and how much they've manufactured around the world, they have subcontracts with Vietnam, Cambodia, all these other countries in the South Pacific. That, and also, can I say, Africa. So China, a lot of devices we get made from China, but some of those devices have been sub-made by other countries for China. You see how we're all connected? You see how you cannot do this successfully. And again, tariffs will not bring jobs to America. The faster the moron learns this, the faster we will get out of this mess. But it was a, what are we gonna call it? Unnecessary predicament for our country to be in. Now we have created enemies from our friends. Now we have shot ourselves in the foot, probably both feet. And now people are now just doing what's called a go around. You had I guess he is in charge of Canada, said, we're glad this happened because we realize now we don't really need America. We realize now we can do business with the rest of the world. This is what happens when you put a fool at the helm. Someone that has no ability, no imagination, no vision, no intellect, no ability to ask questions, no ability to learn. We have a fool in the White House. And so there you have it. Also, some more people walked in the building. Hello, hello, hello. What are you guys thinking? What are you guys? What are you hearing on these streets? Bryson says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, RLP family? What's up, everybody? Happy Monday, happy Money Monday, everybody. Yes, today is our Motivation Monday, so we'll have our motivation. Obviously, get around photography as we always do near the end, and today we're just having a little bit of a water cooler talk. I will take you through some of the videos. Also, the women have gone to space. Well, technically, the edge of space, and so they landed today in Texas. They went up and came down. Katy Perry, and who else is on that? From Oprah's best friend, Gail. Gail was on that flight, and it was a couple other folks there. So that happened this morning. If you missed it, you can catch it. Do I have it? Do I have some of the footage up? I had some of the. Yeah, okay. I do have some of the footage up. I'll share some of it. I'll just give you a little glimpse of it because this is the nerdy thing in me that I like space and all that stuff. And here, let's look at the Blue Origin. What Blue Origin? Here we go. Let me go from the beginning here. There we go. I'm just gonna do it in pieces. Okay, how about that? Here we go. Ba-ba-ba. So it started out this morning. They were on the pad, obviously. Then it goes up. They're waiting. Everybody's in there. I'm just going real through, and then obviously they take off. Here, everyone's looking up at it, and then these are the folks that were on board. Katy Perry, Gail King. I don't know who all the rest of the people are. Corinne Flynn, Amanda Nugent.
History to witness. Dr. Rice, let's bring you in here. What are your thoughts as you see this, the history we're making, 61 years since the last all-female mission that we talked about? That was just one woman. Now we've got 6.
Yeah, from 1 to 6, this is super, super exciting. That first one back in 1963 was Valentina Tereshkova, the second person in space, the first woman in space. She was in orbit, so she went higher than this. She stayed in longer than this. She was in orbit for nearly 3 days. And then she parachuted out of her capsule as well. That's one of the reasons that she was chosen to be an astronaut is because of her skydiving experience. So this, maybe a little bit less training for these 6 new women astronauts, but this is still very exciting.
Priscilla, we can see a different shot of the
like 6 different stories here.
Landing.
And I really think about Amanda.
All the interviews.
All set up, but you see Jeff Bezos.
Whole event.
See this? This is a 400-ounce bar of solid gold. Back in the 20s, this could buy you a decent hat.
Longer for that door, the hatch to actually open and for them to emerge. But I cannot wait to hear all of their stories. Thank you both.
Today,
So there you have it.
the best part for me, actually the whole thing, but we got in and we counted down from 10. And then I started to hear some singing. And when we lifted off, everybody, you could just feel the energy in the capsule. And when we got up there and we got out of our seats, we all just looked at each other. And there was this moment, and I can't wait for people to see it on the video, but there was a very special moment between all of us. And it's just beautiful. It's so beautiful. Where's your grandfather? Your 92-year-old grandfather, who I know you were so excited to bring. What did he say to you when you got out of this capsule and got to see him for the first time? He said, I was really worried for you, but then Oprah squeezed me. Oprah has a way of making us all feel just a little bit.
Yeah, so that was the event this morning. If you missed it, and I'm not able to pop this off. Here we go. Okay. So that was this morning when the young lady, well, the women have gone up into space. Would you have, I see a couple of people say they would have never done it. Like Lisa, she says she would have never done this. How many of you would go to space if you had the opportunity? That's a good question, right? How many of you would go to space if you had the opportunity? as you're getting your thoughts together, let me say good morning to Anthony. He's in the building. Anthony says good morning. And wonderful, you guys had a spectacular day. Gail King went to space. Yes, we got that one. Grand Rising says, Aya is in the building. What's going on here? And Kaz is here as well. Blessed and motivated Monday all. And yeah, I think I would. I mean, if I had the opportunity, I think I might do it. Lisa said, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Kimmy's in the building. She says hi. Good morning. She's saying hi to everyone. And I would have never done that, says Lisa. Anyway, who would not? Who would do it? Jazzy says I have too much. Jazzy says I have too much motion sickness for that. And Chris says not me. And nope. Kimmy says nope, not on purpose. Not on purpose. But Hannah says yes. Hannah and I would go. Hannah and I would be on the ship. Hannah says she would go. And Grand Rising, I see there. So not many of you would go. Not many of you would go up in space with the opportunity. Anthony says, I would. Camera locked and loaded. You know what? If that would be the end of the end, that would be a good way to go. I said, I would definitely go. I would definitely go if I had the opportunity. And it's, time is not the end. So we still have time that these opportunities can continue to grow. And, they always start off with the rich people going. And then eventually we poor folks. Agent says, y'all tripping. You know me. I always say there's always good to do something at least once. Right? I remember my friends were like, Ron, I can't believe you're going to go skydiving. And I was like, yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it. Adrian, did you go skydiving before? I know your friends have gone skydiving, but have you gone skydiving? I'll see space on my way to heaven. I know. We have some family members that have gone skydiving. And skydiving is, I remember when that was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to go skydiving. I believe, there's amazing moments on the other side of fear. Right? So Hannah's laughing at Adrian. Y'all tripping, he says. Y'all tripping. Okay, make sure you hit the likes if you're in the building. Make sure you hit the likes. And so that way you can get the algorithms going here. Let's wake up the algorithms. I see Dilly's over in the Instagram world. Come on over to YouTube, Dilly. Come on over to YouTube. She says, yes, we can. And there you go. Miss Dilly is over there. I see R. Vidal is in there as well. Photo. How you doing? And Kim MRH is over there as well. But if you're in Instagram, pop over to our YouTube channel at Ron Lewis Photos. Okay, so that is what's happening there. Also, I have a video that I wanted to share with you, and let's see what that looks like. So let's pop that on the screen. And this is China's response. I love China. Obviously, China has a lot of problems, and obviously we don't love everything about China, but in this particular matter, when it comes to the tariffs, first of all, if you haven't seen, I think on TikTok, there have been lots of memes and GIFs and all these Chinese TikTokers. Well, it's interesting. I guess they're American Chinese TikTokers because there's no TikTok in China. But they are making fun of Donald Trump. And but this is one that was really circulating, and I thought you guys should see it. Hold on, there we come. And right here on Facebook. And listen to this. Oops. Where's the voice? Oops.
Big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
Yeah, and China will lose the US market, which, as I've said, is 15%.
We don't
You
care.
can't.
We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, we will deal with the situation without the United States. And we expect to survive for another 5,000 years.
When you hear Donald Trump say China wants a deal, it just doesn't know how to go about it. They're proud people. J.D. Vance talks about Chinese peasants. What do you make of their conduct in this respect?
If J.D. Vance thinks that he's dealing with the peasants in China, and I'm proud to be a descendant of the peasants, most of us are descendants of the peasants anyway, that's our tradition. We are farmers before. But now we are one of the leading industrialized economies in the world. So I'm sorry, J.D. Vance doesn't know what he's talking about. And therefore, I don't think there will be China-US dialogue unless the United States changes its attitude towards China. Deal with China as it is. Show respect to China. Show respect to the Chinese people. And don't try to impose your prejudice and biased view about China or about the rest of the world. China is fully prepared to fight to the very end because the world is big enough that the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction of completely shutting itself out of the China market, be my guest.
And there you have it. I love it. I said, you know, I love a good fight. And I love a good fight against a bad bully. And China was like, wait a minute. We've been here for 5,000 years. What comparison, right? Think about the wisdom gathered by people that have been here for 5,000 years compared to America being here 248 years. That's a blip on the timeline. And this is how most Chinese are saying it. They have all kinds of, it was showing also the media in China making fun of Trump, making fun of his policies. And, but this was the best one. This was the best one that got lots of circulation yesterday. It was all over social media. 5,000. We've been here 5,000 years. And then also we'll be here 5,000 more. So I say, you know, this is going to be not too good for America. Adrian says, I'm on China's side. How crazy is that? Well, like we said on Saturday, Trump managed to bring two people together that hate each other on so many levels. The Japanese and the Chinese. The Chinese people do not like the Japanese for how they treated them during the imperial years. It was not pretty back then. And many times with slavery and abusing them, taking their children, it was a whole lot. But anyway, but you have now Japan and China. They had Cambodia, I think Vietnam, and some other South Pacific islands coming together and figure out new trading positions for their countries. Only could Trump bring two countries that were enemies and lack of any kind of trust together to say, we're going to work on our trade policies to help us in this new era without the United States. Yeah, only Trump could do it. So that's one thing he could be proud of. I see here in Dr. Tachi says, yeah, this is hilarious. We don't care. We don't care. China has been here for 5,000 years. Absolutely. Lisa says she's driving. Lisa, be careful out there on those streets. Aya says, I want to try skydiving. Hey, I am planning. I would like to go skydiving again this year. Maybe Adrian, maybe that'd be a good trip for everybody, right? Everybody come to New York so you can go skydiving. No, but I was supposed to do my skydiving at 60. I'm 61 now, so I was hoping to do it when I turned 60, but I forgot to do it. I forgot to connect and make it happen. But yes, Adrian says Nancy wouldn't let me skydive because of the kids, but they grown now, so it's okay. Haven't done it yet. Oh, maybe we'll do it together. That could be another father and son thing to do. We could drive out to Jersey and do it. Okay. Okay, I see. I says I want to go skydiving. Got that. So what's on your mind, guys? What's on your mind? What have you been? How was your weekend? What did you do? Did you do anything special? Anything in the news that you want to talk about? Let's see here. Taji says this is hilarious. Okay, we got that in there. Derek says I love his response. Bronson says how's everybody's weekend? Yes, I'm curious too. What did you guys do this weekend? I went with Adrian. Adrian invited me to see a movie called Warfare. And it was an intense kind of movie. His buddy was laughing because he said, oh, you like war movies? And I said, yes, I do love war movies. I've probably seen every war movie there is, especially World War II, World War I, Vietnam. Yeah, so I seen, the only there is it. Can someone correct me? I may be wrong, but I don't know of any. I have not seen any war movies on the Korean War, other than documentaries like PBS or something like that. But I have not seen a movie with people in the Korean War. Just a thought. I have not seen, and I've seen a lot of war movies. Are there any Korean war movies? I don't know. But anyway, I love war movies, and this movie was so intense. Without giving any of it away, it is it's a snippet or a snapshot of a moment in this military regiment as they're in Iraq, and they are in surveillance mode trying to get information, and they're looking at some stuff and the people in the community and kind of like tracking, but then they are discovered that they are there, and then they get some conflict. So, but it's intense. It makes me think twice about those people that are out there that are like, let's have a civil war. We need a civil war in America. But people don't understand the trauma, the horrors of war. There is nothing glorious about war. And over the years I've been on this planet, and I've talked to several World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans. My grandfather served in Korea, but I was too young to ask him questions. And but most of the time when you talk to veterans, they will not talk to you about war. They will not mention, they don't want to talk about it. They may just give you like a quick glance and say it was tough, blah, 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 but they do not go into the details. At least the folks I've talked to, they kind of like, they just give you the overview of the war. this movie gives you some intense intense moments of I don't want to give it away, but if you are into historical moments, and this is based on a true moment in time, check it out. If you are into war movies, this is one for you. Thank you, Adrian, for the invite, and got to spend it with he and his buddy for man. I can't believe that I can't believe they are how old Adrian and his buddy Donnie are. They are just they're just grown men with grown children. So old. I feel so old. Adrian says, let's go. Okay, so we're gonna set a date to do some skydiving. Jazzy says skydiving is not as scary as people make it seem. It is one of the most skydiving. The scary part is taking off. Like the intensity of your body's like stressed because you are like, especially the first time doing it, it's like the unknown, and you, as the plane is taking off and you're gaining altitude, and then you begin, you're looking out the window and you're seeing the ground getting further away from you. And then they take you up to about 10,000 feet, because that's usually the jumping level. And then they open the big door. They open the side door, and it's just you, the seat you're sitting in, and the open sky. And because they pair you with a professional, you don't do it by yourself. And the person I was paired with totally took me off guard. He was just looking at me. He goes, "This is a fine mess you got us in, Ron. This is a fine mess." Oh! And before I knew it, I was out. I was falling, and what happens is that you don't realize how fast gravity pulls you back down to earth, because the plane becomes a dot within seconds. I mean, literally, you're looking up, the plane becomes a dot. You have already fallen, I don't even know how many feet. And but once that parachute goes up and it pulls you, it jolts you like you see in the movies, there's nothing more beautiful. The sound, all you hear is, and it's the closest you'll feel like a bird. It's the closest you will feel like a bird moving through the air. And again, like I said, it's just, and you're just gliding down. It's so peaceful. And I had my tandem jumper had me use the ropes and to be able to steer us in, and to steer, because you move you move them different directions to steer in, and then you find the runway, and then you come in, and then you land. It is one of the most awesome experiences I've had in my life. So anyone else that wants to go, let me know. Jay says, we all come from back to the video. We all come from peasants. Yes, that was a good line there. He said, y'all, good morning. Okay, I see this. America thinks, Dr. Taji says, America thinks it's so important. The rest of the world is like, we do not care. We don't care. Anthony says, I love telling people that America is the spoiled, entitled brat of the world. I remember reading in an article, has to be like 20 years ago, and they were comparing all the countries in the world, and they said that most of the world mature adults, because most of these other countries, like in Europe, in Africa, in China, in different parts of Asia, have been around for thousands of years. Thousands of years. They've been around for thousands. And they said America is just getting out of its toddler years. And it's a good depiction of when you think of the history, where our country is and how we behave. There's a whole lot of truth to that analysis. America is just, compared to all the rest of the countries, we're just getting out of our toddler years. Think about that. We're just getting out of our toddler years. It's a thought. Then you understand how come we act the way we do on the world stage. Derek says, "We not with your BS, sucker," and says to Trump, "And do the math." Dr. Tachi says, "They can't stand each other, but they despise Tang more." And obviously, Adrian said, "Let's go." I got that in there. And Dr. Derek says, "Amazing how he's destroying our relationship with Europe in 90 days. Lisa says, "No skydiving for me. No skydiving for me." Dr. Tachi says, "I like the ground. Thanks." Anthony says, "America barely produces anything as it is. Now the world knows it can go without what little few that comes from the US." And you hit a good point, Anthony. What America produces to the rest of the world is services. That's it. Services. Services and how we, instruct, teach, schooling. But then also we have tourism. Lots of Americans travel overseas, right? So we spend money overseas. But also we get a big bulk of money from all the people that travel to America. And now travel is down somewhere near 80% from the Canadians alone. 80%. They've all said, "No more America. We're not going to America." But not only that, but not only just because of protesting America, but they're afraid. They're afraid to come to America because they don't want to be interrogated. They don't want to be detained. They don't want to be put in isolation for, like that gentleman was, 2 weeks in detention. People, all the European countries and Canada have put a warning against coming to America because it's a dangerous place. Dangerous. You don't know how it'll end up if you go. Yeah. So now we're losing money. Not only there, we're losing in tourism, which America depends on Europeans and Canadians coming here. People from India, people from Pakistan, people from the Middle East. People travel to America. A lot of people travel. Look, walk with me across the Brooklyn Bridge just one day. Let me walk with you across the Brooklyn Bridge. Just give you that one walk. And you see all of the people visiting America, just visiting New York City, just visiting on the Brooklyn Bridge. At least several hundred going across the Brooklyn Bridge at any given moment. Hey, Janet's in the building. TD, Touch Base Daily Family. Bryson says, it's Saving Private Ryan with Tom Hanks. Tom, is that a Korean War movie with Private Ryan? If so, I did not know that. Adrian says, Devotion is a good one around the Korean War. Oh, I got to check that one out. I haven't seen Devotion. Lisa says, I really like Winston-Salem. It's a cute town here in North Carolina. My brother is doing great. Yes, so we're looking at. And Jazzy says, my thing is, who am I fighting? Anthony says, I've only seen one. It's called The Front Line. I watched it with my dad. That's another Korean War movie, The Front Line. So there are several of them. Oh, I'm gonna revisit this. Frontline and Devotion. Okay, I'll be looking them up. We asked my dad about Vietnam and the Middle East, and a bunch of times, and he never told us about it. Isn't that the truth, Anthony? You can always know the people that really served on the front lines or in war. They don't want to talk about it. All these fruitcakes around the country, you see them in the MAGA movement. We want a civil war. We want to go to war. We want to take the country. We want to go to war. People who have been in wars don't want to go to war. You can always tell the people that served and the people that act like they serve. They do these little war games in the forest and they play with their friends, like a sophisticated paintballing. Yes. Janet says, back in the day in New York City public schools, they used to herd us into the school auditorium and show us World War II movies when there was a high rate of teacher absence. Really, Janet? Didn't know that. Janet says, war is not game. It is not. It is not a game. Dr. Taji says they act like it's a game to risk or battleship. Yep. People that have lived in wars are not happy to run back into them or want anyone to go through it. Jazzy says the scariest part of skydiving to me being in that plane. Yep, that's the scary part. I wanted to get out. But there's no turning back. There's no turning back once those wheels get off the ground. And TB says H.W. Bush did it at 90, but the way my anxiety is set up, See, that's what I was trying to do. I'm trying to do a skit like every 10 years. I would like to jump out the plane. So at 60, I wanted to jump out. So I'll probably do it this year at 61. But at 70, I hope to be able to do it again, and then maybe at 80, 90. Who knows? Anything's possible. I think it's a good way to celebrate life. Lisa says, Dr. Tachi, it's a big little town. Okay, we're talking about Salem. Janet says, went to a dinner party where no one used their cell phones for references and was gifted an MIFA button. Great conversation, theater, and minor mentions of 47 shooting. Okay, so we're all caught up here. Janet says, Florida tourism down. Wait till you see what happens in New York City. Yeah, it's getting scary. Yeah, that's seven. Spielberg. I'm sorry, 7. That's Steven Spielberg. Okay, cool. But I have 2 movies to look at for the Korean War. And I have not, I always say, when I talk to my family members, talk to people, I'm like, that's the war my grandfather served in. But I know very little of the Korean War. I don't really know much about it, other than the books that the typical books. But even in the book studies, that is one war I really did not study as much. I just don't know why. Why I didn't study that war as much as I've studied the others. I need to dive into the Korean War. That's my homework for this year. Okay. So let's do some. Let's go into our. Yeah, it's time to do it. Our Motivation Monday. Let's do that. Let's get that on the screen, and so that way we'll get ready for the week. And any other statements out there? And but yeah, I never know where this conversation is going to go. Sometimes I have my thoughts and how I want to talk with you guys, but you always pull me into another tangent. You always pull me in a different direction, but it's all about you. So that's what's good about it. So So let's go. Let's go. The only thing I'm going to stick to is definitely our Motivation Monday. Okay, here we go. Let me present to you all. And so today's Motivation Monday. Oh, let me put this all the way in paid member mode. There we go. There we go. Ooh, that's nice and big, right? So this topic today is to hopefully motivate you as you are getting out there with your cameras. I got a really nice DM this weekend. Someone wrote me a beautiful DM, and they were very appreciative of the time we spend here on photography and how they were able to go out and they saw their photography improve because of our discussions that we have here. So I just say thank you so much for those that do listen and then take not only what we talk about here and they apply it. And we talk about photography. I'm a photographer, and this is why I gear this, or I should say tailor this, our conversations here, especially the lessons portions of it, to those that are interested in photography and those that desire to pick up a camera and those that are also creatives, because you have a lot to share and a lot to say in your expression using your camera. And being that all of us have a camera, we all have great cameras. If you have a smartphone that's 5 years old, you have an amazing camera with you at all times. And if you really want to learn photography, there's lots of opportunities to do so. But I try to make it, another person wrote me this weekend, and she was saying, thank you for your shares on photography. And I wrote back to her, I said, I try to keep it as basic. I know I could, if I was in a photographer's everyone's been in the profession for years, and these are everyone's professional photographers, I could talk shop in that way. But I try to keep it as simple as possible. So that way it's, you can take it in, hear the words, understand it clearly, and be able to apply it. If I talk about f-stops and the f-stop numbers, and if I talk about this, the shutter speed should be such and such, and then all the technical jargon, you really wouldn't get the essence of the conversation because you won't be able to apply it. And so I try to keep it as simple as possible when we're gathered here together. I see you guys are still talking about the war. Rashawn says, and I'm going to go right into that. Rashawn says, my great uncle served in the Korean War. Janet says, didn't hear much of the Korean War until college. Living room war equal books. See? It's one of those, it's a silent war. The Korean War was relatively short in comparison to other wars. It was right before Vietnam that lasted 18 years, with another 2 years getting the troops home that could come home. And I think that's what it gets drowned out by World War II, all the years at World War II, and then also all the movies and everything that was about the Vietnam War. And it gets drowned out. Even though we have, downtown Brooklyn, we have a whole park dedicated to the Korean War veterans. But yeah, I'm going to dig into that this year. That's another one of my homeworks for this year. Okay, let's talk shop. Let's talk shop. You look at this picture. I love this picture. I took this picture in Fort Greene Park at one of the Soul Summits. And I just love expressions, and I love trying to capture people's, emotions. And as you look at this photo, I want to ask you a question. What is going on here? If you saw this in a gallery and it was sitting on the wall, hanging on the wall, not sitting, but hanging on the wall, what would you be saying that this photo is about? Hmm? I'll give you some time to think it, process it, and then write in the comments. I want your participation. If you were in a gallery and you were looking at this photo, what is the message you are receiving by observing this photo? What is the message? What is the message? I see Kimmy Kim says, joy. Kimmy Kim, oops, let me pop. Kimmy Kim says, joy. Any others? Any others? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? You know, they say a photo speaks 1,000 words, right? It contains 1,000 words. What words are you getting out of here? What words? Jazzy says, that was my first thought. Jazzy says, love. Love. So we got Kim. Kimmy says, joy. Jazzy says, love. Anthony says, they're at an outdoor concert or a festival. Janet says, fabulous image. Her eyes and smile are where my eyes goes. Delight. Delight. Jazzy says, it's in her eyes. That's a good title for this photo, right? It's in her eyes. Rashawn says, happiness. Happiness. Aya says, dancing in joy and love. Dancing in joy and love. Jazzy says also, laughter. Kimmy says, comfortable with the closeness. Wow. You guys are getting it. Yeah, you guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. You guys are getting it. Any others? Any others before we proceed? Any others? Those were good. Those were good. I love all that you guys got from, because that's the beauty of a photographer's work, right? Or the painter, is when you stand in front of the work and you take it in. So here's our subject for today. Here's our Motivation Monday. The secret within, exploring the mystery of images. Motivation Monday. This is from the quote. You know, I always use our Motivation Mondays based on quotes, photographers. If a photograph is a secret about a secret, the more it tells you, the less you know. Every image holds within it a labyrinth of untold stories, emotions, and questions. It serves as a portal transporting the viewer to a moment frozen in time, but with no map to guide their journey. What lies beyond the frame? What emotions shaped their particular instant? Photography isn't just the art of observation. It's the art. Get that? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Got too far up. It's the art of interpretation and imagination. As photographers, we aren't merely capturing what is seen. We are preserving mysteries, cultivating curiosity, and evoking the intangible. Our lens translates reality into whispers, whispers that stir emotions without fully revealing their origins. Like Diane Arbus suggests, the more information a photograph provides, the greater its ability to obscure meaning, urging the audience to participate, question, and feel. I may pause there. There's a whole lot going on in this photo. Everything that you guys said was true. But I guarantee you that everything that each one of you said opened up another secret gate into this photo. Every word that each one of you posted opened up another secret pass or passageway into the photo. Now, me as a photographer, I was there and I'm observing these everyone's this. First of all, let me paint the picture for you. It's Soul Summit in Fort Greene Park. People come from all over the Northeast to participate in the Dance Fest from 12 noon to 8 p.m. at night. 8 hours of house music and dancing. And in this photo, I observed this couple. There was so much love between the two of them, something you guys mentioned. There was this amazing energy. I know this is not offending to the people of different nationalities or different ethnic groups in the building or that are going to see this video. But there was a joy for me watching and observing this intense Black love. These two individuals, and someone said it's all in her eyes. He is just doing his thing. He's dancing. He's got her nice and close. She's feeling his closeness. Her eyes are gazing into his. It's a moment. It's a moment that I have the opportunity to freeze. Had the opportunity to freeze the moment. And the love, you could feel the energy through the lens. You could feel the energy through the lens. So all of you got it right. But again, every time you let your eyes move through the frame, you pick up new clues of the secrets that unveil themselves within the frame. That's why you got the old saying that a picture's worth 1,000 words. There's so much. Taking the time to let your eye move through the frame. Look at her eyes. Look at his mouth. Look at the energy. There you have it. Let's go to the next and we'll end it. Okay. In our work, we can embrace the power of the unspoken. Let our images be guides that lead viewers not to conclusions, but to questions that echo within them. That is where true engagement and artistry lie. The interplay between what is shown and what remains hidden. Right? Right? Can I say that again? The interplay between what is shown and what remains hidden. Because there's a lot going on that we will never know about this photo. Like, what is in her mind when she's looking at him? We'll never know that. What is in his mind as he is dancing with her? We'll never know what's in their minds. So there's layers of secrets that are in the photo. But our job as photographers is to freeze these moments and cause people to question. And in their questioning, the frame, the moment, it will open up new pathways of more questions. And before you know it, there's a connection to the photo because they've engaged it on a level that is beyond just observing, just looking at it, just a glance. So this week, when I know a lot of you look at photography, you look at a lot of photographers' works, don't just look at it on the surface. Here's my aim to you guys. Create some good secrets this week for the photographers by photographing deeper than the surface. Create some good secrets this week by photographing deeper than the surface. What says you? Jazzy says, I can hear the music. I really love this photo. Shannon says, this is worthy of inclusion in your book, Ron. I agree. This is one of my favorite shots. One of my favorite shots. The energy that was felt in that moment. The moments of, I wish I was a fly on the wall. Well, as a photographer, you do get to be the fly on the wall. You get to be the fly on the wall as a photographer. And Dr. Tachi says, yes. I guess she's saying, yes, that should be in the book. And Kaz says, that is a good description. Layers in time and or moments. Kaz is very cerebral. That's why I love her. It's very cerebral. Okay, guys, we're on time. We're always on time. It's just a matter of what our time is and what we talk about. But I hope that encourages you. Take time with your photos. Take time when you take pictures of your family and friends. Don't just take pictures of them posing. Take pictures of them living. Can I say that again? For your family and your friends, because those are precious, even more precious, because you know these people. You know your son, you know your daughter, you know your husband, you know your wife, you know your partner, you know your neighbors, you know each one of them. Indeed, in a little more, you know who they are. They're not strangers. But take pictures of them living. It's good to take them photos when they're posed. That's cool. Hey guys, let's gather together. I want to take a picture of you all. Selfie time. Take pictures of your family and friends living. Okay. Let me give you some announcements and then we're out of here. One is, if you would like to stay connected, make sure you go to my website, ronlewisphotos.com, and you can hit the email. It'll just automatically pop up and put yourself on the mailing list. So important. And also, if you're interested in event photography or you know someone that is, make sure you reach out to them and say, hey, I know this dude. He's online sometimes. He's talking about photography. He is a great event photographer. I can suggest him to you. And then I want to also thank you, Patreon members who support this platform. You support this platform. You pay the bills. Thank you, Patreon members. And if you are not a Patreon member or you are a free Patreon member, if you're a free Patreon member, step it up. Step it up. I think I do more than you would want for just free. Okay? So do that. Step it up. Step it up. Also, one of our biggest sponsors is Rolling Clouds. They sponsor this platform. They sponsor what we do here. So we're going to just make sure a shout out to Rolling Clouds, which is a cigar company. And last but not least, if you want to learn about photography, you can photograph your world. I do that with you virtually, Basic Photography 101. We can set up time and classes for you. Okay, there you have it. And guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Also, I did become a member of Substack. If you are a member of Substack, if you are a subscriber to Substack, if you have a Substack platform, you'll probably say, what is Substack? Substack is where lots of writers, journalists, bloggers. Now, I have gotten the great ability, like I was able to write this, right? But because I always was afraid to write because of my dyslexia. I can never get words right. I can never get them in the right format. I can never do them in the right sentence. I can never put them in the right order. I would always have to be all over the place. And now, because of AI, I could write down everything. I could write it all down. I should say type it all down, and kind of like just type it in any format I want, and just say, God, make this. I'll say to the computer, to Copilot, now make this grammatically correct and appealing. After I've poured my thoughts. So all you folks out there that have dyslexia, the greatest invention I talk about it all the time was AI, Copilot, Chat GPT, all of those. Those for we who have dyslexia, it is the greatest invention for us. And it gives us the ability now to do things that we weren't able to do. Like I could put together this thing for you guys today. But also it gives me the ability to I can now be on Substack, because that's where all the writers are. Those are like the writers. Those are, I'm not like that, but I'm just, tickling, at the surface. But Substack, what I love about Substack is that there's so many writers there. And I get to read a lot of their work, like journalists, scientists, doctors, lawyers, legal minds, historians, and it's also photographers there now. Everyone's gathering. Substack is getting a lot of traction. Well, I say all of that. There are several people in this community that are in Substack. And I'm going to show you Substack 1, and then I'm going to let you guys go, because I want you to, if you happen to be over in Substack, I want you to look for me, and I want you to subscribe to the Substack. Oh, what happened to what's going on here? My keyboard's not working. What's going on here? Hold on. Substack. Okay, there we go. I was like, what is going on? Okay, there we are. And my dashboard. Okay, so I found, thanks to our last night game people, the folks that hung out with us during game night last night, I now have 10 subscribers. So I'm excited about my 10 subscribers. Thank you guys for the 10 subscribers. But it's a great platform, and let me just take you there. So this is my little dashboard, and so direct messaging and all that other stuff. I've been on there 30 days, 30-day view, 6 subscribes from app, and all that other good stuff. So that's my dashboard. But you can go in, and then I have my posts, and you can put your posts there. You can have subscribers. You can have paid subscribers. You can do your podcasting there. You can do stats and all that other stuff, chats, recommendations. So again, and I follow, like I follow the Bulwark. I follow Glenn Bulwark for politics, Glenn for law. I love law, so I learn a lot about law from Glenn. And Midas Touch, they are all about politics and what's going on in the world right now. And also Don Lemon. Those are my favorite four. Those are who I follow. But there's a whole bunch. There's Jim Acosta. There's all the journalists out there. Adam Kinzinger, politicians, Joy Ann Reid. And it goes on. So politicians are there as well. So if you want to learn about what's going on and want to hear it in the written form of how people are thinking, head over to Substack. I think it's a good platform for folks to learn. Okay, that was my commercial for Substack. Again, if you follow me, I'm Ron Foster 3. That's what I come up on. Well, it'll probably come up just if you just put Ron Foster in, because there's not that many Ron Fosters on there at the moment. So I think there's only 2 other Ron Fosters. But yeah, there you have it. So check out Substack and hit the subscribe button on there, and you can subscribe for free. There is a paywall for the lessons that I do here. I consolidate them and put them in behind the paywall so that people can they can get that benefit. And then those, I'm thinking about this, you let me know, Patreon folks that are in our community here, is I want the people that are Patreon members that are $25 and more a month. I want to give you guys what they call founders path in here. I think it's called founders, where that way you don't have to pay for it. You do not have to subscribe on this platform because you are subscribing on my Patreon page. Those that are doing $25 or more. Okay, so I'm going to try to link those, and I'll connect you through your email. And so let's make sure I have the email you want me to connect with, and then I can put you on there, and you'll get all the stuff that I'm posting that's behind the paywall, and you'll just get it, without paying for it, because you are already paying in Patreon. Okay, so I want to do that for you. See, love that thought. Layers. Candid life moments are. Oh, go back to the video. Candid life moments are my favorite. I enjoy capturing strangers while I'm out, especially couples. And Kimmy says, still stumped on the pentagram. Still, I didn't get it. So last night we had a great time. We had a wonderful time last night in our game night. And none of us got the pentagram. None of us got it. So anyway, today's a new day to play. We'll play by ourselves, and then we'll do it again on Wednesday night, hump night. We'll do it again on Wednesday night. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Have a great day. And again, hit the likes. Let people know that you enjoyed this platform. And also leave comments. You can do comments even when we're not on the air. Okay? So guys, thank you so much. Have a great week ahead. Get out there and do some photography and do it and capture some secrets. Talk to you later. Love ya. Bye-bye. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.